if you're into me. I'm on 9, you're on 5. Been away for a couple of weeks, it could be more.
What's up, you guys? It's me back with another video. Today's video is a little different. I think I just want to talk about some things, I guess. Like, I feel like each summer I go through like a huge learning curve, but I feel like these are things like you've probably experienced, or maybe you haven't experienced them quite yet. So maybe, you know, if you're going something, you can be like, oh, hey, you know, sis, I need to hear this. Well, you know, here it is. So the first thing is growing and outgrowing people. You know, I feel like you first experience this when you go through high school, or like even, I guess, when you could be transitioning to a new place. You know, and you're away from like friends that you grew up with, and you're making new friends, and it's like you outgrow people, and that's a part of life. And it's not necessarily that maybe the relationship was bad, or maybe, you know, the friendship was bad. It's just because we are all people and we progress at different paces, and sometimes you just outgrow people. But the hardest thing that I've learned sometimes, when not necessarily maybe the fact that somebody else has outgrown you and you haven't outgrown them yet. You guys have maybe been friends all your life, or have been together for a long time, but you just simply outgrow each other. And maybe that person started outgrowing you before you started outgrowing them. And I feel like when it comes to that, it's harder to grasp the fact, like, wow, I mean, I understand like how I outgrow people, but the fact that I wasn't quite ready to outgrow this person yet. I wanted it to be forever. I wanted it to be a little bit longer, you know what I'm saying? I wanted it to be a longer relationship. I wanted it to be a longer friendship. But sometimes you just simply outgrow people. And I think it's like once you get to a point and you realize, okay, this person has outgrown me and I necessarily haven't outgrown them, you just be like, okay, well, this is what it is, and nothing's bad, or no, they haven't done anything. But I realize maybe this just is how it is. And sometimes maybe I feel like also you could also outgrow people for a season. Maybe you two are just in different parts of your life individually, that right now you guys can't grow at the same pace. You can't grow together anymore. You have to outgrow each other for a season, and then maybe one day you can grow back together. So that was the first thing kind of I've learned. It's just outgrowing people, but also being able to deal with the fact that maybe somebody has outgrown you as well. And then secondly, putting the right energy into the right people. Obviously, you know, you learn you don't give to receive, and that's the same way with love. You don't love someone so that they will love you back. You love them just because that's genuine. That's how love works. But I feel like also there is a thin line between giving yourself so much, putting so much energy and effort into someone, and them just not paying attention to it, taking heed to it, or even caring. Or it seems like, you know, it's just like they don't care. There's a line between that, and obviously you're not asking for a whole lot in return. You're just asking to receive some of that same love that you put out. You radiate so much love and so much positivity, and sometimes there are certain people, I feel like me too, you put the wrong energy into people. And it may not necessarily be the person's a bad person, they've done horrible things to you. Sometimes it's just because the person is simply oblivious to it, or they just ungrateful, or maybe they really genuinely don't care. You know what I'm saying? And that may be like tough to grasp, but I realize that too. Sometimes I put the wrong energy, time, and money into the wrong people. And it's hard to be like, wow, like and things like you can't make somebody, you don't want to sit there and be like, you know, don't you see how much I care about you, how much I care about our relationship, how much I care about our friendship? Why can't you give me even just the slightest bit of what I put into you? Why can't you even give me like a cent, like just a quarter or an inch of that back? Those are like really wrong words, but you get what I'm saying. Why can't I receive not even a little bit of that? And I feel like there comes times when you realize, no, I do not love others so that they would love me. I love them unconditionally because that's how love is. But also at the same time realize, do not keep putting time, energy, effort, or money into people that really just don't care, that don't seem to want to put the energy into you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't give so much of yourself away that you have nothing left to give to people that, you know, really put that same amount of energy into you. So that being said, you want to put the right energy into the right people. Put all that time that you spent putting into that person that didn't seem to care, didn't pay any attention to all the things that maybe you had done for them or whatever, obviously. But you put those in people that, you know, they do care. It may not be as much as you'd like, but they still are showing effort. Hey, I care about you. Thank you for this. Even in the small things, thank you for this, thank you for that. And I feel like that's important with your friends, even though obviously we're young, so we can't go out here and buy like expensive gifts for our friends if we want. But even the small things, you know, like, hey, you know, thanks for doing this today. Or thank you for, you know, talking to me today. I needed someone to talk to. Just little things like that. I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in materialistic things that it's really small things that can show, hey, I care about you. This is effort, you know, this is my time and my energy, and I want to give it to you because I feel like you're worth it. Like I said, you put the energy and time into people because you feel like they're worth it, and someone else should say the same about you because you're worth it as well. Just lastly is letting go of past mistakes. I feel like we all have done things in the past that we're not proud of, but the thing is, it's what happens. But it's important to realize that our mistakes don't define us, and I know you guys know that. I'm pretty sure we all know that. But sometimes it's hard to forget if we keep constantly reminding ourselves of that mistake, or kind of like, oh man, I really wish I hadn't done that. You do really have to let go of the mistakes that you've done. It makes no difference if, like, you realize, okay, I did this, I've moved on, if you're still going back like, oh, I wish I had done this, and you're beating yourself up over it. It does nothing. I mean, you know, okay, yes, you know that your mistakes don't define you, but you keep going back to, you keep beating yourself up for it over and over again. When the mistakes that you make now define who you are. What defines you as a person is what you are going to do the next time that same circumstance comes up. Either you're going to learn from the mistake you made the last time, or you will make the same mistake again. You know, and sometimes, especially if it's something that we did against somebody else and we feel bad about, especially if the person forgives you for it, I feel like that also should bring you, like, some type of peace as well, because especially if it wasn't something, you know, we did to somebody, if it was something we did to somebody else, sometimes, you know, it feels bad when, like, okay, I don't think they forgave me, this, that, and the other, I'm not sure how I feel about it. But it's important, you know, when that person forgives you, obviously you move past it, you guys, you know, move on with your lives. But it also is important just as that person forgave you, that you forgive yourself as well. Also, just lastly, making your happiness a priority too. I feel like sometimes we get so caught up in trying to be a people pleaser and trying to make everybody happy that we sometimes dismiss our own happiness, and then that could also, like, when you do that, it also really starts to affect you physically, how you feel, like your mindset, your motivation to do certain things. You become so consumed sometimes with other people's problems that you just forget, like, whoa, I'm my own person. I have my own things. I have my own issues. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when I went back to Kalani's concert back in June, and she talked about she is a person where she feels everything. And I can definitely say that I am that way too. Like, I feel everyone and everything. When certain things happen in the media or I hear things on the news, I get super emotional, and like I feel it. Like, I feel for that person, or like that whatever just happened, I feel it. She says, you know, she remembers she has to go back to her little tiny box in her space where in that box she sheds everything that does not have to do with her, any concerns, problems, or issues. She sheds every single one of those things that she feels that has nothing to do with her, and she places it, you know, over in that other rectangle or whatever she called it. And it's important. Sometimes we do have to emotionally shed those layers that have nothing to do with us, because if you're a person and emotionally you feel everything, you feel everybody, then you're gonna have to do a lot. And I feel like I do that too sometimes. Especially with things in the media, I really do feel them, because I think so hard about things, you know, and things like that really get to me. So it's important to shed those layers that have nothing to do with you. But that's really all I want to talk to you guys about. It's just those kind of 4 things, and things that I've learned. Once again, like, though I feel like I go through learning curves each summer about things and people in my life and things I personally need to do. So I just want you to know that if any of these things happen to you, that it's okay. It's, you know, learning process. We're all growing up. None of us are perfect adults yet anyway. And if this video helped you in any way, please let me know. You can always follow me on Twitter or Instagram, or, you know, DM me, message me on, you know, Snapchat, whatever. If this helped you in some way, I'm glad. These are just things that I've learned, that I'm still working through, and that I've worked through in my head. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time with another one.